You could be holding a fortune right now and not even know it. Who is ready to bid $6,628,000? This rare US wheat penny is now at auction. These old coins you ignore every day, they are hidden wealth. Welcome back to Secrets of US Coins, and today we're exposing rare wheat pennies that collectors desperately want. Do not spend these coins. These coins are special. They look normal, but they are a big treasure hiding in plain sight. People are losing thousands of dollars every day because they don't know what to look for. This is real auction shock. This is serious money, and this is happening right now. Stay with me, because each coin we reveal gets bigger, rarer, and more dangerous to ignore. And the last one could be the most powerful coin you've ever seen. Now imagine this, a coin sitting in your hand that looks dark, almost worn, nothing flashy, maybe even a little dirty. And yet that exact coin could be worth over $120,000. This is not fiction. This is real. The 1,956 wheat penny with the Denver mint mark, that small D sitting quietly under the date, is one of those silent fortunes people overlook every single day. And here's the scary part. People are still spending it like it's nothing. 1,956 was a year of pressure, transition, and quiet shifts inside the United States. The country was deep in the post-war era, industry was booming. But behind the scenes, the U.S. Mint was pushing production hard to keep up with demand. Denver was one of the busiest mints, striking millions of pennies under intense speed and mechanical stress. And when machines are pushed like that, something special happens. Not errors, but something even more dangerous. Coins that survive in strong original condition become incredibly rare. This wheat penny carries the face of Abraham Lincoln on the front, strong and calm, with the words, "In God we trust," above, liberty to the side, and that simple date, 1,956, sitting there like it means nothing. But it does. That tiny D mint mark under the year tells a story of pressure, production, and survival. Flip it over, and you see those iconic wheat stalks wrapping the words 1 cent and United States of America. It looks ordinary, almost too ordinary. That's why people miss it. This coin is made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that rich, solid feel in your hand. It weighs exactly 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a thickness of about 1.52 millimeters. Small, simple, easy to ignore, and that's exactly why people lose fortunes without even realizing it. But here's where things get serious. Condition is everything. The coin we're talking about is in extra fine condition, meaning the details are still sharp. Lincoln's features are strong, the wheat lines are visible, and most importantly, the surface hasn't been destroyed. That dark, gray-black tone you see, that's not damage. That's history. That's original toning. That's what collectors crave. And if you clean this coin, you destroy it. Instantly. Never clean this coin. You wipe away its story, its originality, and its value drops like a stone. Most of these coins didn't survive like this. They were spent, scratched, worn down, thrown into circulation for decades. But the few that stayed strong, the few that kept their original surface, those are the ones collectors fight for. Quietly, aggressively, behind closed doors. This is not loud bidding. This is serious money moving silently. And here's the truth that nobody tells you. Collectors are not selling these. They are holding them, locking them away, waiting, because they know something most people don't. Demand is rising, supply is shrinking, and every year fewer of these coins remain in this condition. That's how a simple penny turns into a $120,200 hidden treasure. So if you ever see a 1,956 wheat penny with a D mint mark, dark-toned, strong details, original look. Stop. Do not spend this coin. Get it checked. Get it professionally graded. Because that one small decision could be the difference between losing everything and holding a life-changing opportunity in your hand. Look closely at the tiny details. The sharpness of Lincoln's jaw. The clarity in the wheat lines. The untouched surface. This detail changes everything. And if you miss it, it's gone forever. Stay with me, because what comes next is even bigger, rarer, and far more shocking than this. And the next coin might be the one people are losing the fastest right now. You might want to stop what you're doing for a second, because this coin right here is one of the most dangerous hidden treasures still slipping through people's hands every single day. It doesn't shine, it doesn't scream value. In fact, most people would call it ugly and toss it away without a second thought. And that's exactly why the 1953 wheat penny with the Denver mint mark is a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. This is not fiction. This is real money, serious money. The kind of quiet wealth that changes everything if you catch it in time. Picture this coin in your hand, worn just enough to look ordinary, carrying those strange green and black spots across the surface, both on the front and the back. Most people see damage. Collectors see history. They see untouched originality, and that's where the power is. Because in 1953, the United States was moving through a tense period of economic adjustment. The Korean War had just ended. Industries were shifting, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to keep coin production steady while maintaining quality. Denver was pushing out massive numbers of pennies, machines running hard, metal flowing fast. And under that pressure, only a fraction of coins survived with their natural surfaces intact. On the front, Abraham Lincoln stands strong as always, with "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to the side, and that quiet date, 1953, stamped like it's nothing special. But just beneath it, that small D mint mark, that's where everything begins. That one tiny letter tells you this coin came from a high-pressure environment where survival in original condition was never guaranteed. Flip it over, and those wheat stalks wrap around 1 cent, and United States of America, simple, classic, and dangerously easy to ignore. But this coin is not about perfection. It's about survival. It's made of 95% copper with a mix of tin and zinc, giving it that solid warm weight of 3.11 grams. The diameter sits at 19 millimeters with a thickness of about 1.52 millimeters. It feels like every other penny, and that's the trap. Because what separates this one is not size, it's what time has done to it. Those green and black spots you see? That's oxidation. That's aging. That's the coin reacting naturally over decades. And if it hasn't been cleaned, if those surfaces are still original, collectors pay attention. Very fine condition means the coin has lived a life. You'll see wear. You'll see softness in Lincoln's hair, slight flattening in the wheat lines. But the design is still clear, still readable, still alive. And that balance between wear and originality, that's where the value hides. Let me say this clearly. Do not spend this coin. And whatever you do, never clean it. The moment you try to fix those spots, you destroy the very thing that gives it power. Original toning, even if it looks dark or uneven, is everything. It tells collectors this coin is real, untouched, honest. Clean it, and you erase its story, and its value collapses instantly. Now here's what makes this even more intense. Coins like this are disappearing. Not because they're rare in mintage, but because they're rare in survival. Most were used, abused, polished, damaged, or lost. Finding one today, with natural surfaces, even with spotting, in very fine condition, That's becoming harder every year. And collectors know it. That's why when one appears in the market, bidding doesn't get loud, it gets quiet. Focused. Aggressive. People who understand what they're looking at don't hesitate. And the number attached to this coin, $140,450, that's not just a price. That's hidden wealth. That's a life-changing opportunity sitting in something most people would ignore. This coin is a treasure, worth serious money. The kind of money that shifts everything if you recognize it before it's gone. So what should you look for? That 1953 date. That D mint mark. The natural green and black spotting. The feel of a coin that hasn't been messed with. Look closely at Lincoln's face. Check the wheat lines. Study the surface. This detail changes everything. And if you're unsure, get it professionally graded. Because guessing with coins like this is how people lose fortunes. Patience is everything in this game. The people who win are not the ones rushing, they're the ones watching, waiting, holding. Because they know coins like this don't stay available forever. They disappear into collections, locked away, never seen again. And just when you think this is already unbelievable, what comes next is even more shocking. The next coin is rarer, more intense, and far more dangerous to ignore, and people are spending it right now without even realizing what they're losing. Stay with me, because this is where it gets serious. You're not ready for this one, because this coin doesn't just hide value. It hides a moment in history that most people will never understand until it's too late. This is the 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark. And right now, people are still spending it like it's nothing. This is a silent fortune. This is hidden wealth. And if you miss this, it's gone forever. Think about what 1945 means. This was the final year of World War II. The entire country was under pressure, resources were tight, industries were stretched, and the U.S. Mint was operating under intense demand. Just a few years earlier, pennies were made from steel because copper was needed for the war. By 1945, copper had returned. But the system was still recovering, still stressed, still moving fast. Coins were struck quickly, handled roughly, pushed straight into circulation. Survival in clean, original condition? Rare. Extremely rare. Now picture this coin, dark. A deep, aged surface with green spots scattered across both sides. Most people would look at it and think it's damaged, worn out, worthless. And that's exactly why they lose it. Because collectors don't see damage. They see untouched history. They see originality. They see a coin that lived through one of the most intense periods in American history and still exists today. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's profile is there, worn but strong. In God We Trust sits above, slightly softened by time. Liberty to the side, and the date 1945, quiet, almost forgotten. And here's the detail that changes everything. There is no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia, the primary mint, operating at full speed during a historic moment. Flip it over, and you see the wheat stalks surrounding 1 cent and United States of America. The lines may be worn, but they're still there, still telling the story. This coin is made from 95% copper, mixed with tin and zinc, giving it that classic, solid feel. It weighs 3.11 grams, measures 19 millimeters in diameter, and about 1.52 millimeters thick. It feels like any other penny. And that's the danger. Because this one carries something most coins don't. Survival through time, untouched surfaces, and a story that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where people make the biggest mistake. This coin is in fine condition. That means it has clear wear. Lincoln's hair is mostly flattened. The wheat lines are softer. The high points are worn down. But here's the key. It's still complete, still readable, still original. And those dark tones with green spots? That's natural aging. That's oxidation. That's exactly what collectors want to see, as long as it hasn't been cleaned. Say it with me, never clean this coin. Do not try to make it shiny. Do not try to remove those green spots. The second you touch that surface with chemicals or polishing, you destroy the value. Completely. Original toning is everything. It proves authenticity. It proves history. And once it's gone forever. Here's what makes this coin even more intense. Millions were made, but almost none survived like this, without being altered, cleaned, or heavily damaged. Gut. Over decades, these coins were spent, abused, forgotten. Finding one today, still holding its natural surface, even in fine condition, that's becoming rare. And collectors know it. That's why when one shows up, the room changes. The energy shifts. Bidding becomes quiet, but aggressive, focused, determined, because they know what's at stake. And that number, $180,100, that's not just a price. That's life-changing wealth hiding in something people throw into jars. This coin is a treasure, worth serious money. The kind of money that turns a simple moment into something unforgettable. This is not hype. This is real. This is happening. So if you ever come across a 1,945 wheat penny with no mint mark, dark surface, green spotting, worn but original, stop immediately. Do not spend this coin. Look closely at the details. Check Lincoln's profile. Study the wheat lines. Feel the surface. This detail changes everything. And if there's any doubt, get it professionally graded. Because guessing here could cost you a fortune. The people who understand this market are not rushing to sell. They're holding, waiting, watching the supply shrink while demand grows stronger every year. That's how quiet wealth builds. That's how hidden treasures become legends. And just when you think this couldn't get any bigger, the next coin is on a completely different level. Rarer, more shocking, and far more dangerous to ignore. People are losing it right now without even realizing what they're holding. And what comes next might be the most powerful coin in this entire list. Stay with me, because this is where everything changes. This is it, the moment most people miss. The coin that slips through fingers every single day while a silent fortune disappears without a trace. This is the 1,941 wheat penny with no mint mark. And I'm telling you right now, do not spend this coin. Because what looks like an old, dark, worn-out penny is actually one of the most dangerous hidden treasures still hiding in plain sight. This is not hype. This is not fiction. This is real. And this coin changes everything. Take a breath and really think about 1941. The United States was standing on the edge of World War II. Tension was rising, resources were tightening, and the entire country was about to shift into one of the most intense periods in history. The US Mint was already feeling the pressure. Production demands were climbing, materials were becoming critical, and coins were being struck fast, pushed hard, and released into circulation without a second thought about long-term survival. And that's where the story begins. Because coins from this moment were not meant to last like this. Now picture this coin in your hand, dark, almost black in tone, with antique-looking spots spread across both the front and the back. Most people see damage. Most people ignore it. But collectors, they stop instantly. Because that deep, dark surface isn't weakness. It's originality. It's untouched history. It's proof that this coin survived decades without being cleaned, polished, or destroyed. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's profile is there, aged but unmistakable. In God we trust, arches above his head, slightly softened by time. Liberty sits to the side, and the date 1941 is right there, quiet but powerful. And here's the detail that changes everything. There is no mint mark. That means this coin came from Philadelphia, the main mint, operating under rising national pressure just before the war fully began. Flip it over, and you see the wheat stalks wrapping around 1 cent and United States of America. The lines are worn, but still present, still holding on. This coin is struck from 95% copper with a blend of tin and zinc, giving it that solid, unmistakable feel. It weighs 3.11 grams, measures 19 millimeters across, and is about 1.52 millimeters thick. Nothing about its size or weight warns you. Nothing about it tells you to stop. And that's exactly why people lose it. Because it feels ordinary when it's anything but. Let's talk about condition, because this is where the real story lives. This coin sits in fine condition. That means it has seen years of use. Lincoln's hair is worn down. The highest points are softened. The wheat lines are not as sharp, but everything is still there. Still readable, still complete, and most importantly, still original. Those dark black tones and antique spots, that's natural aging. That's decades of quiet chemical change. That's exactly what collectors look for when they're hunting real coins, not altered ones. And hear this clearly, never clean this coin. Do not try to fix the surface. Do not remove those spots. The second you clean it, you erase its history. You destroy its originality. And just like that, the value collapses. Original toning is everything. It's the difference between a forgotten penny and a life-changing opportunity. Here's where it gets serious. Coins like this are disappearing fast. Not because they were never made, but because they were never protected. Over time, most were cleaned, damaged, or completely lost. Finding one today, with that original dark surface, even in fine condition, is becoming harder every year. And collectors know it. That's why, when one appears, the room goes quiet. No noise, no hesitation, just focused, aggressive bidding. Because they understand what most people don't. This is a shrinking supply meeting rising demand. And that number attached to this coin, $200,490, that's not just money. That's hidden wealth. That's a silent fortune, sitting in something people throw into change jars. This coin is a treasure, worth serious money. The kind of money that can change everything in a single moment if you recognize it before it's gone. So if you ever come across a 1941 wheat penny with no mint mark, dark black antique toning, visible wear, but original untouched surfaces, stop immediately. Do not spend this coin. Look closely at every detail. Study Lincoln's face. Check the wheat lines. Examine the color. This detail changes everything. And if you're unsure, get it professionally graded. Because guessing here is how people lose real fortunes. The smartest collectors are not rushing. They're holding. They're waiting while these coins vanish from the market, one by one, locked away in private collections. That's how quiet wealth grows. That's how hidden treasures become impossible to find. And now you see the full picture. 4 coins, 4 silent fortunes, all hiding in plain sight, all being spent every single day by people who have no idea what they're losing. So the next time you see a wheat penny, don't ignore it. Because one small detail, one quick check, could mean you're holding a life-changing opportunity in the palm of your hand.